Hello everybody and welcome to Rishdon Fire Station. This week is Child Safety Week and so we've put together some little videos every day at 11 o'clock to help keep you and your families safe. Now, as we're in lockdown, you may be using your kitchen a little bit more, and it usually is the hub of the house, but it is also the place where most kitchen fires will start. And over the last 10 days, we've actually had 15 kitchen fires. So we're going to start off with one of the things that could cause a kitchen fire. Now, I'd like to show you our first toaster. And this toaster, as you can see, the lever is in the lockdown position. So we know that that toaster overheated. It is a metal toaster, but all the bits that have burned are the plastic components that were attached to it. Now we know that this had bread in it that was a little bit too thick. So when you push the lever down, that starts your thermostat. And that lever will pop back up when the thermostat has reached its right temperature. But if you've got bread in there that's too fat or some crumpets that you need to really ram it down with, it's not going to be able to switch itself off. So that's always a good reminder that you need to put the right size bread or crumpets or whatever you're toasting into your toaster. And if you ram it down, it's not going to be able to get itself back up. The second toaster we've got, this was a lady that was putting her shopping away and hadn't realised that she'd put the arm down. So she popped outside, the toaster arm was down and she hadn't realised it. That was heating away and the shopping was forcing that handle down and it was getting hotter and hotter and hotter. She was outside having a little chat with her neighbour and when she came back in, her whole kitchen was burnt. So a timely reminder that just be careful. Our kettle. We're probably drinking more tea in lockdown than we've ever done before. And this kettle here, the lid had broken. It didn't flip back down. Now in the top of the lid is a little sensor. And once that kettle has boiled and the sensor acknowledges that there's steam there, it flips the switch open and then it turns the temperature off. Unfortunately, this was an occasion where they'd been planning to buy a new kettle for some time, but left it boiling and it boiled dry. And again, a metal kettle, but the base was plastic. So that burnt away completely. Now, at the fire station, we also have we've got our boiler, but we do sometimes use kettles, but we make sure that there's nothing around them to actually switch them on by accident. However, our toaster, as you can see, is switched off against the wall, and that's what we'd like you to get into the habit of doing. It's good practice just to turn it off at the wall so that if anything did come along, dropped into it by accident or pressed one of the levers down, it wouldn't overheat and cause a fire. Now our cookers. This is our microwave. It's nice and clean, used by lots of people, but one thing if you're going to teach your children to do their own cooking is make sure you tell them that they can't put any sparkly bits in or any silver foil or cutlery, and then your microwave will work just perfectly. Our cooker is nice and clean. As you can see, there's nothing in there, so if that got accidentally switched on, nothing's going to start heating up in there and overheat and cause a fire. We have got our tea towel next to the cooker. It's a bit too close, but somebody's obviously dropped that when they rushed out the door. I don't know if you noticed a few weeks ago, but while they were doing a live on-air cooking programme on this morning, a tea towel actually caught fire, and that's as easy as it is. If somebody then came back in, put that ring on, that tea towel will be alight in minutes, seconds even. So make sure we put our tea towels over there. If we have a little look at our cooker, this isn't too bad, but it's not as clean as it should be. There's a few little bits on there, so I will have a word with the firefighters when they come back in to make sure that they clean that up nicely and keep it as clean as it possibly can be. Now in this area over here, and you might have noticed some of the pictures on the wall, these are some of the pictures that you've sent in for us as part of our drawing competition. So thank you for those. There are some more around the wall, so you might want to keep a little look out. These are all things that we would use regularly, but again, as good practice, the plugs have been taken out of the wall so that if somebody came along and thought they were switching something on that they weren't, it's not going to overheat and cause a fire. So, lastly, one of the things that does cause fires in kitchens is our washing machines and our tumble dryer. So we recommend that they're not used when you go out. You stay with your washing machines, your tumble dryers and your dishwashers. Use them while you're in the house and don't use them when you go to bed. And lastly, our tumble dryers. They contain a lot of fluff. So when you've used your tumble dryer, just get into the habit of opening the door and taking out the fluff container and emptying the fluff container. If you watch any of our videos over the next few days and you spot something and you make your house safe as a result of it, could you just pop that in the comments box? Because we'd like to know that what we're doing is actually working and you are taking notice of our advice. I hope you've enjoyed the tour of our kitchen and perhaps made you realise that, you know, it can be quite a dangerous place. If a fire does start, all we want you to do is shut the door to the kitchen, get out and call 999 and wait for the fire service to arrive. We are going to do a different little video every day this week at 11 o'clock, so hopefully you'll be able to tune in. If you do things differently or you have spotted something that you think, oh, I must change that, put it in the little comments box below so we can see that we are getting our messages across. And we'll see you tomorrow at 11 o'clock.